Denzel Hayes Washington Jr., born December 28, 1954. Was an American actor, producer, and director. Denzel Washington, one of the greatest icons of world cinema. A man with piercing eyes, a commanding voice, and roles that carried profound weight. He once stood at the pinnacle of glory, embodying courage, integrity, and exceptional talent. But then, suddenly, the news of Denzel Washington's death shocked the entire world. Was it a natural death? Or did his sudden departure hide secrets yet to be revealed? The death of Denzel Washington was not just a monumental loss for cinema, but also left a lingering question that many could not ignore. Born and raised in New York, Denzel Washington always carried a burning desire to rise above poverty. He began his career with small roles on Broadway stages before shining on the silver screen with iconic performances in Training Day, Malcolm X, Glory, and The Equalizer. Denzel was not just an exceptional actor. He was a symbol of resilience, of the desire to overcome adversity. Yet, in his later years, people noticed a significant change in him. Denzel began to appear less in public, and his film projects grew sparse. Friends and colleagues saw exhaustion and fatigue in his eyes. Denzel Washington began avoiding crowds, refusing to attend red carpet events, and frequently canceling pre-scheduled interviews. Hollywood media speculated about his health, but Denzel's representative consistently claimed he only wanted to spend time with his family. However, his close friends told a different story. A fellow actor once revealed that Denzel often spoke of feeling watched. He mentioned hearing footsteps outside his window at night, a gentle knocking at midnight, but when he opened the door, there was no one there. "I don't know what they want, but they will never stop," Denzel once confided to his friend over a tense dinner. Police confirmed that, before his death, Denzel made a call to an unidentified woman. The call lasted 18 minutes, but its contents vanished from the system. No one knows who this woman was or why there is no record of the conversation. The building manager where Denzel lived also reported that on the night before he died, a black car was parked outside his home for hours. The occupants never stepped out, and when the police arrived, the car mysteriously disappeared. The autopsy report concluded that Denzel Washington died of a sudden heart attack. However, an anonymous doctor who participated in the examination mentioned seeing small bruises on his wrists, marks consistent with injections. Yet, there were no traces of needles in the room, nor were any substances found in his blood. Moreover, his blood test results had been altered, showing inconsistent figures. Another doctor on the examination team was fired just days after the report was released. Was someone trying to hide the truth about Denzel's death? Denzel's family requested his medical records from the hospital to learn more about his health condition. But when they received the documents, they found that several pages had been torn out. The test results from the 2 weeks before his death were completely missing. In Denzel's apartment, police discovered a small notebook. But strangely, many pages had been ripped out. The remaining pages contained only scribbled, chaotic lines. Denzel Washington's funeral was attended by thousands of fans, family, and famous friends. But what caught everyone's attention was the presence of a man dressed in black, wearing sunglasses, standing silently at a distance, gazing at the casket. Some said he stood there throughout the ceremony, never speaking to anyone, and left immediately after it ended. When the family tried to ask the security team about his identity, no one knew who he was, and the security cameras recorded no footage of him entering or leaving. After Denzel Washington's death, an anonymous source from Hollywood revealed that he had once been part of a mysterious organization, a secret society of celebrities. Rumors suggested that he had tried to leave this organization, but those within would not allow it. Several other actors, who were once Denzel's co-stars, also came forward, recounting stories of being threatened when they tried to learn more about this secret society. Had Denzel uncovered a secret too dangerous, leading to his untimely death? In his final days, Denzel Washington completed a film that was never released. But just as the film was about to premiere, the producer abruptly announced its cancellation. No reasons were given, and all footage of Denzel was erased from the system. A member of the film crew disclosed that Denzel had requested a script change, And in one scene, he whispered something to his co-star that left everyone on set in stunned silence. But that scene was deleted. Denzel Washington is gone, but his death leaves a vast void in the hearts of his fans and countless unanswered questions. Was he silenced to keep a secret? Did he uncover a dark truth about Hollywood that cost him his life? Death, the inevitable end of all living beings, marks the conclusion of a journey, but it also serves as the beginning of countless unanswered questions. In life, some deaths come as gently as a deep slumber, while others are shrouded in a mist of mystery, leaving behind a long chain of secrets yet to be unveiled. Imagine a dark room where the air seems to stand still. On the bed in the middle of the room lies a motionless body, eyes closed but with a faint, cryptic smile on its face. Surrounding it are old paintings, dusty books, and on the table, a phone with the last call erased from the call log. It is not just an image of death. It is an image of a mystery. Throughout history, stories of mysterious deaths have inspired literature, films, and haunting tales. But behind these stories lie terrifying truths that few dare to know. There are those who are found dead in their locked rooms, with no signs of forced entry, yet their faces are twisted in fear, and their hands appear to be clutching at something invisible. These are often declared natural deaths. But how can someone die of fear in a locked room? Did they see something? Was there an invisible force that claimed their life? In an old hotel in the heart of Paris, a young artist was found dead in her locked room. The door was secured from the inside, yet on the mirror, written in a red substance, were the words, "They will not leave me alone." But there were no signs of anyone else in the room. The police ruled it a suicide, but how could she have written on the mirror after her last breath? In many mysterious cases, the dead often leave behind suicide notes, but these notes contain strange lines, cryptic messages that are never explained. One of the most common elements in mysterious deaths is the last call, the call that the victim made just hours or even minutes before dying. But the strange thing is, this call is often erased from the system, or the conversation's content is never revealed. In a case in Tokyo, a young college student called her best friend at 3 a.m., her voice trembling as she said someone was standing outside her window, even though her room was on the 10th floor of an apartment building. Her friend told her to lock the door and call the police, but the call was suddenly disconnected. When the police arrived, they found the girl dead on her bed, with the door still locked from the inside. It is not just suicide notes or last calls. In many cases, the victim's body bears mysterious marks, bruises, small cuts, or unexplained scratches. In a case in the United States, a middle-aged man was found dead in his bed, his eyes wide open in shock. The autopsy concluded he died of a stroke, but his wrists bore small bruises, resembling marks left by handcuffs. When the family requested a re-examination, the second report was altered, omitting any mention of those bruises. Another recurring element in mysterious deaths is the erasure or alteration of medical or legal records of the victim. Pages of diaries they once wrote are often torn out, leaving behind scattered, cryptic notes. In some cases, there are strange visitors at the victim's funeral, people dressed in black, wearing sunglasses, standing silently at a distance, and speaking to no one. They come and leave swiftly. In a case in London, a young woman died under mysterious circumstances. At her funeral, a man in a black coat, wearing a wide-brimmed hat, stood silently watching the casket. When the ceremony ended, he quickly left, but no one knew who he was. The woman's mother claimed to have seen him standing outside her window the night before her daughter's death. Some deaths are not just the end of a life but the burial of a secret. Many believe that there are secret organizations, shadowy societies that exist in the darkness, controlling the lives of the famous. When someone uncovers their secrets, they pay the price with their lives. Death is always inevitable, but for those who die under mysterious circumstances, it is not merely an end. It is the beginning of a story without answers. Locked rooms, last calls, suicide notes, and shadowy figures at funerals. All these elements create a dark, chilling picture. Death, the end, but also the beginning of countless unanswered questions. In the dark room, a motionless body with a mysterious smile, Torn diary pages. The last call vanished, and a man in black silently watching the funeral. Was it an accident, suicide, or a carefully concealed conspiracy? The autopsy report was altered. The test results conflicted. Are the secrets buried with the dead, or do they still lurk in the shadows? Who is behind it all?